Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the Tibetan Buddhist Society Peaceful Land of Joy. Just for those of you who don't know me, my name is Nick and I've been a student of Geshe, Acharya, Thubten, Loden, whose photo is here behind me, since 1977. So, a little while. So today we're going to enter the bodhicitta chapters in Geshe's book, The Path to Enlightenment in Tibetan Buddhism. But before we start, and on the theme of bodhicitta, which means for the sake of others wishing to attain complete perfect enlightenment, we have a light offering here, sponsored by Nora, to wish her father, Bentley Wu, a wonderful and excellent rebirth. So Bentley passed away recently, and so we make offerings and request the blessings of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to bring Bentley happiness and joy in his next life, and to create all the causes for enlightenment. And may all living beings also experience peace and love and quickly attain complete perfect enlightenment. So just meditate on this for a moment. So the preliminary prayers we'll do today are the praise to Shakyamuni Buddha, which if you have the prayer book, otherwise it's in the prayer folders if you have those. And we'll do the praise to Shakyamuni Buddha, the refuge and bodhicitta prayer, and the short mandala offering in Tibetan and English. And these will follow with the seven-limb prayer, the prayer of the lineage guru, and the Lam Rim prayer, the great treasury of excellence. And all of these prayers we're doing, the praise, like the first one, the praise to Shakyamuni Buddha, they're all meditations in themselves that you can do in your own time too. And we do them in Tibetan because we are part of the Tibetan lineage, Tibetan Buddhism. So we'll do the praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. Tompa chondende dejin shepa dra chompa yandapa zope sangye ripadan japsu dempa dewa shepa jiten chempa kebu duwe kalo gyowa lana mepa lada minaki tompa sangye chondende palyalwa shakya Tupala chasalo chodo gyalsu chi wo. Teacher, Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, perfectly pure and complete Buddha, all-knowing, having poise, Sugata, apprehender of the world, navigator of beings to be subdued, incomparable, teacher of gods and humans, to the Buddha, the Bhagavan, the glorious conqueror, Shakyamuni, we prostrate, make offerings and go for refuge. And now the refuge and bodhicitta prayer, first in in Tibetan and then twice in English. Sangye chodan soki chonam la Chanchu Badu Dani Kyab Suchi Dagi Jin Sogi Pesonangi Drola Penchi Sangye Drupajo. To the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, I go for refuge until becoming enlightened. Through the merit of my generosity and so on, may I achieve Buddhahood to benefit all beings. To the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, I go for refuge until becoming enlightened. Through the merit of my generosity and so on, may I achieve Buddhahood to benefit all beings. And now the short version of the mandala offering. So we're offering a complete Pure Land to all the Buddhas and to all sentient beings. So basically everything beautiful condensed into this mandala offering. Saji Poki Shujin Metodram Rirab Ling Shinide Kempadi Sangye Jindu Minte Owagi Drokun Namdajin Lao Chopajo. This ground, anointed with perfume and strewn with flowers, Mount Meru, the 4 continents, adorned with sun and moon, imagined as a Buddha land and offered thus, may all beings enjoy such pure lands. So now on the next page, the 7-limb prayer. I prostrate my 3 doors with a mind of respect and offer all actually arranged and mentally emanated offerings. I reveal all the downfalls and negativities that I have ever collected and rejoice in the virtues of individuals and superiors. Please remain perfectly abiding until samsara is no longer seen. I request you to turn the vast, profound wheels of Dharma. I dedicate the virtues of myself and others to the great enlightenment. And now the prayer of the lineage gurus. So these are all the gurus, the principal gurus since the time of Shakyamuni Buddha. Body born from 1,000,000 magnificent, excellent virtues, speech fulfilling the hopes of infinite beings, a mind that sees all objects of knowledge precisely, I bow my head to the chief among the Shakyas, supreme sons of incomparable teacher, carrying the load of all the conqueror's deeds, by their emanations appearing in countless realms. I prostrate to Maitreya and Manjushri. The mother of conquerors is difficult to fathom. The precise thought is in commentaries written by Jambavipa's ornaments, Nagarjuna and Asanga. I prostrate at the feet of those most renowned in the 3 realms. From these 2 great chariots come the excellent lineages of the paths, profound view and vast deeds, their essential points gathered thoroughly and without fault. Prostration to the lamp holding this treasure of instruction, giving explanation through compassion, by seeing precisely and completely the essential points of all paths of Sutra and Tantra, holder of the conqueror's entire holy Dharma, Prostrations to the glorious Loden. I, seeing all the infinite teachings, supreme way of crossing for those entering the journey to liberation, moved by compassion to deeds skilled in method, prostrations to the spiritual masters who make everything clear. And then the great treasury of excellence, the prayer of the path to enlightenment in English. And this prayer is worthy of meditation on each of these verses, just as the complete summary of the path to enlightenment. And you may, in your own good time, meditate on each of these verses. The kind master is the basis of all qualities, and proper reliance is the root of the path. By seeing this excellence and through much striving, bestow blessings to be devoted with great respect. This gentle support of freedom, obtained this one time, is most difficult to achieve. Knowing its great value gives rise to a mind seizing its essence constantly, day and night. Bestow blessings to generate this continuum unceasingly. It is like a bubble in water, this constantly moving body and life. Thus remember the swift collapse of death. Beyond death, like body and shadow, white and black karmic results follow after. By gaining firm certainty in this, the mass of faults, subtle and very subtle, are abandoned, and the accomplishment of all virtuous collections completed. Bestow blessings to ever retain conscientiousness. The qualities of samsara unfit to be trusted, the door to all suffering. Do not be content with these enjoyments. By knowing its defects, bestow blessings to develop a great aspiration for the bliss of liberation. By that pure thought, great conscientiousness is drawn forth, and mindfulness and awareness of the individual liberation, the root of the teachings. Bestow blessings to make this the essential practice. Just as I myself have fallen to samsara's ocean, all living beings as mother are also like that. By seeing the responsibility for the liberation of beings, bestow blessings to be trained in supreme bodhicitta. However, by merely generating the mind, if not acquainted with the three aspects of ethics, enlightenment will not be attained. By seeing this excellence, bestow blessings to train with strong effort in the vows of the conqueror's sons and daughters. Pacifying distraction toward perverse objects, by way of proper analysis of the perfect meaning, bestow blessings to swiftly and continuously generate the path related to the union of calm abiding and special insight. Thus, becoming a vessel trained in the common paths, enter the Vajrayana, supreme evolution of all vehicles. Bestow blessing to engage the easy path itself, that sacred way of crossing for fortunate beings. The base of practice for the two aspects of attainment is when guarding the pure vows of commitment is found to be genuine and certain. Bestow blessings to protect them even at risk of life. Then, by understanding properly the important points, which are the essence of the two stages of the Tantra classes, bestow blessings to practice according to these holy teachings with continuous effort in the supreme four-session yoga. Like that, may the spiritual friend revealing the gentle path and the friends of proper practice stand firm. Bestow blessings to quickly pacify the masses of outer and inner hindrances. In all rebirths may I never be parted from perfect gurus and the enjoyment of the glorious Dharma. By utterly completing all qualities, paths and grounds, may I quickly achieve the state of Vajradhara. So we're up to chapter 18 of Geshe's Path to Enlightenment in Tibetan Buddhism, if you have a copy with you. The entering the great path. So as you, those of you who've been here before would know, the definition of bodhicitta. Bodhicitta means for the sake of others wishing to attain complete, perfect enlightenment. And this is from Konkan Maitreya, from his ornament for clear realization. So today we will look at the benefits of practicing bodhicitta. Bodhicitta is the conventional mind of enlightenment. And as Geshe explains here on page 492, the benefits of bodhicitta are beyond quantification. So they are limitless. But they may be summarized into 10 benefits that are gained by the person who generates this precious mind of enlightenment. So our object, our intention, is to gain the realization of bodhicitta. So the three main realizations we're trying to bring to our mind are the realization of renunciation, so renouncing the samsaric mind, which is the mind that causes all our suffering through ignorance, anger and attachment. We need to develop the realization of bodhicitta, and we need the realization of the correct view of the nature of reality. So now we have these few chapters here on the wonderful entering the great path, the Mahayana path. So the first of these 10 benefits, and we'll go through them one by one, and we'll do a short meditation on each as we progress through them. So the first benefit is that you enter the only gateway to the Mahayana. So through bodhicitta, we enter the gateway to the Mahayana, the great vehicle. And as Geshe explains, it's all here, so it's worth reading, rereading over and over. You'll get a different understanding each time you read the text, due to the mind that changes. As the mind is purified, understanding is purified. You recognize things in the book that you think weren't there before, but it just depends on mind. So as Geshe says, a practice only becomes a Mahayana practice if it is motivated by bodhicitta. So bodhicitta is essential to enter the Mahayana path, and it is essential for the realization of enlightenment. Without bodhicitta, even if we were to realize the ultimate and conventional truths and attain the liberation of a foe destroyer, our practice would not be that of a Mahayanist. So Mahayana and bodhicitta is for the sake of others. And also, if we were to practice the highest tantras and attain various powerful attainments, without bodhicitta, it's not actually Mahayana practice. So the first benefit is that by generating bodhicitta, we enter the Mahayana path and gain access to the extraordinary results of Mahayana practice. So the results are being able to benefit all numberless, limitless, countless sentient beings, to attain enlightenment and to step by step lead all sentient beings to enlightenment. And Lama Tsongkhapa, the founder of this Gelugpa tradition of Tibetan Buddhism, has said that there are many people who engage in the methods of the Mahayana path but are not actually Mahayanists. Because people are practicing Vajrayana but without the motivation of bodhicitta, which has its roots in great love and great compassion, then it is not actually bodhicitta, therefore it's not Mahayana. And the Mahayana path, great vehicle, is divided into the Paramita Yana, so the Paramita vehicle and the Vajra vehicle, Vajrayana. And the practice of the Paramita Yana involves the accumulation of merit and wisdom over 3 countless great eons through the practice of the 6 perfections, so generosity, ethics, patience, joyous effort, concentration and wisdom. And that's the sutra path to enlightenment. And then the Vajrayana, as explained here, is the secret vehicle and is a rapid path to amass in a very short time the necessary accumulation of merit and wisdom for the attainment of enlightenment. But we must have bodhicitta to enter the Mahayana path. And there is an explanation in here. We'll just do this first and then we'll do a short meditation. So there's an example of 4 people doing a retreat on a Vajrayana practice. One person is motivated by the wish, the intention to develop a long life, free of sickness and hindrances, and a life filled with good circumstances, to be happy, healthy, relaxed, and wealthy. So this person, although engaged in the retreat, is not even practicing Mahayana. It doesn't even register as a Dharma practice. This is worldly. It's just for the present life. So the second person in this retreat has the thought, due to this practice, I will escape the suffering of lower rebirths. So this is just a wish to attain a higher rebirth. The third person is motivated by renunciation of cyclic existence and the aspiration to attain liberation for oneself. So although it's a Vajrayana retreat, it's not actually Mahayana because this person will only attain liberation for themselves. And the fourth person engages in the retreat with pure bodhicitta motivation, thinking, I am going to practice this rapid path, this Vajrayana retreat, in order to attain enlightenment as quickly as possible so that I can benefit all living beings. So this person is a Mahayanist and has bodhicitta motivation. So the main issue, the essential point really for practicing Mahayana is to have a bodhicitta motivation. So we need that, and to constantly generate that mind thinking through whatever action we're doing, may I quickly attain enlightenment to benefit all sentient beings. And we don't have to be doing a retreat, we don't have to be doing a meditation practice. We can do this just by thinking first thing in the morning, through my being awake, being alive today. May this be a cause I have the conditions to step by step attain enlightenment to benefit all sentient beings. So it's just in any situation to be thinking of others. So Just check here. Yeah, so we'll just do a short meditation here on this one. So just make yourself comfortable, sitting. If you're on a cushion or on a chair, just make yourself comfortable. Back fairly straight, as straight as you can. Head tilted slightly forward, chin a little bit tucked in. You may keep your eyes open or closed, your choice, but if possible, just a little bit open and looking down the bridge of your nose without being distracted. And rest your hands in your lap, right hand on top of the left, and just gently breathing. And we'll get to meditate on the first of these, the gateway, entering the gateway to the Mahayana. So bodhicitta is the only gateway to enlightenment. So just relax, breathing in gently, smoothly, at your own in your own time, breathing in and breathing out. And just think, contemplate that by generating this conventional mind of enlightenment, bodhicitta, generating this mind over and over in listening to teachings or reading or in contemplation or in meditation like we're doing now. Just imagine in your mind you are creating the causes, the karma, to attain and to experience the blissful state of enlightenment, and to have the ability to benefit countless, limitless, sentient beings. Feel that you're entering the gateway to the Mahayana path, the great vehicle. So imagine and wish that you have the mind of bodhicitta, thinking constantly for the sake of others. And with the wish to generate and to realize complete, perfect enlightenment. So the bodhicitta is the means, the way of all sentient beings to attain complete, perfect enlightenment. So generate in your mind very strong aspiration for this wonderful mind. That is constantly thinking of the welfare of others. And just recollect that this is the path to enlightenment. This is the path that all the Buddhas of the past and the present and all the Buddhas of the future will follow this path, will generate this mind, this conventional mind of enlightenment, bodhicitta. This is how all ordinary sentient beings, step by step, become enlightened beings, beyond suffering. The second of the 10 benefits, you become a son or daughter of the Buddhas, a child of the Buddhas. You join the Buddha family. So the instant we generate bodhicitta, we become a bodhisattva. And are given the name son or daughter or child of the Buddhas, and we join the lineage of Buddhas. And as the peerless master, great scholar and bodhisattva Shantideva said in his text, Engaging in the Bodhisattva Deeds, the moment that bodhicitta is generated by the destitute, confined in the prison of cyclic existence, that's us, they will be called a son or daughter of the Buddhas and become the object of reverence of worldly gods and men. So even though we may have no qualifications or great worldly talents, special wealth, position, high position or whatever, the moment we generate bodhicitta, we join the family of the Buddhas because we have the conventional mind of enlightenment. So we'll do a short meditation on this wonderful benefit, becoming part of the Buddha's family, their lineage. Just relax, imagine limitless, countless Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in space around, so happy, so pleased that you have joined, that we have joined the lineage of the Buddhas. They're so pleased because of our intention to practice this wonderful Mahayana path, bodhicitta, concerned only for the welfare of all sentient beings, and wishing all limitless, countless, numberless sentient beings to attain complete and perfect enlightenment. So just stay with that thought. Become part of the Buddha family, the Buddha lineage. And all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are enormously pleased. From having generated bodhicitta, we have given up our samsaric mind of ignorance, anger, attachment, and all the other delusions, pride, jealousy. And the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are so pleased. The third of the 10 benefits is that once you've entered the Mahayana, once you generate the mind of bodhicitta, you surpass the hearers and solitary realizers. So these beings, these meditators, are practicing the Dharma and with the wish to attain liberation. And have many, many great attainments and realizations. The realization of the true nature of phenomena, special insight, calm abiding, clairvoyant capabilities, things that we as beginning bodhisattvas do not have. But the third benefit is that you surpass these hearers and solitary realizers by generating the mind, the conventional mind of enlightenment, bodhicitta. Because as it's explained here in Geshe's book on page 500, although the new bodhisattva does not have the wisdom and powerful attainments of the great foe destroyers, they nonetheless outshine them simply because of their bodhicitta. the merit of bodhicitta eclipses all the attainments of individual liberation. And there's the example given here in a kingdom where the king's ministers have far greater experience and wisdom and understanding than a king's son or daughter. However, the same ministers, along with the entire populace of that place, pay respect and bow to the prince or princess because they are of the royal lineage and will one day be king or queen. So in the same way, because a new bodhisattva will step by step become a Buddha, even the great foe destroyers pay them respect. So we can meditate on this third benefit, surpassing the hearers, the Shravakas, and the solitary realizers, these Pratyeka Buddhas. So without even having these great realizations of calm abiding or special insight yet, by having generated the mind of bodhicitta, it moves us beyond the hearers and solitary realizers. So meditate on this. So generating this mind of bodhicitta is an amazing, astonishing, wonderful thing to develop, to generate. It benefits oneself and it benefits all sentient beings. Because unlike the hearers and solitary realizers who will only attain liberation from samsara by having generated the mind, the conventional mind of enlightenment, bodhicitta, we have the power to eventually attain complete and perfect enlightenment. So with each of these benefits we should rejoice in our good fortune to have come across this wonderful teaching on the bodhicitta. So the fourth benefit is that we become the object of offering and prostration for both gods and humans. So Buddhas arise from bodhisattvas. So by attaining the realization of bodhicitta, one becomes a bodhisattva and step by step becomes a Buddha. So therefore, bodhisattvas are therefore a great object of respect. And because of this motivation to benefit all living beings, without exception. Every single one. A bodhisattva is the greatest of holy beings and is paid respect by both gods and humans. The great Indian peerless master, great scholar and bodhisattva Atisha was known to have commented many times on the number of people visualizing deities and reciting mantras. And he said many of them would find it very difficult to gain realizations because they lacked the strong, compassionate motivation of bodhicitta. And that such people would have gained realizations so easily if only they had bodhicitta. So we can now meditate on Shantideva's, this wonderful peerless master, great scholar. Shantideva has many excellent verses. Another one from his engaging in the bodhisattva deeds, where he says, "It is like the supreme gold-making elixir." He's referring to bodhicitta. "For it transforms the unclean body we have taken into the priceless jewel of a Buddha form. Therefore, firmly seize this bodhicitta." So this is like the to do with alchemy and transforming substances into gold. But this ordinary body that we have, these five aggregates, form, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness, can be transformed into the five dhyani Buddhas, the five aggregates of a Buddha. Through bodhicitta. So bodhicitta is the means of effecting this transformation. So meditate on this for a short while. It's amazing experience of attaining, transforming this ordinary mind and body, these five aggregates, into the mind and body of a Buddha. And the fifth great benefit, that vast amounts of merit are accumulated instantly. So generally, to create ordinary merit through one single action, we receive similar merit. But by generating the mind of enlightenment, thinking of the welfare and the benefit of all limitless, countless sentient beings in this universe or any universe, if there are more than this, just limitless sentient beings. If they are motivation, our intention, is to benefit every single one of these sentient beings beyond number, then our merit is equal to that. So this is the rapid path to enlightenment. As Geshe explains here, bodhicitta enables you to accumulate huge amounts of merit instantly, easily, and continuously. Offering one stick of incense with bodhicitta creates the same amount of merit as if you offered a stick of incense to every sentient being. So we can do this with any action of body, speech or mind. So in giving food to feeding the birds, or giving money to homeless people, thinking how wonderful it would be if all limitless, numberless, countless sentient beings were all free from suffering and all had all good conditions and were never separated from the happiness which is without suffering, which is a mind of enlightenment, when all sentient beings are beyond suffering. So the motivation to benefit all sentient beings in any thought we have, in any action we make, accumulates merit beyond calculation. And once again, contemplate Shantideva's wonderful words regarding bodhicitta, regarding having attained the realization, the mind of bodhicitta. From that time forth, whether asleep or unconcerned, a force of merit, vast and unceasing, equal to the sky, will be produced. So imagine that. Enormous, vast merit. And then dedicate all that merit to all sentient beings, as vast and as limitless as space. So the sixth benefit is that negativities are instantly purified. So it's explained that bodhicitta is the first of the four opponent powers for purifying negative karma. So the four opponent powers being the power of the object, the power of regret, the power of the opponent force, and the power of commitment, not to commit any negative karma again. So bodhicitta is particularly powerful and can instantly and completely destroy great negative karmas and obstacles to our practice. So contemplate now, meditate on the power of bodhicitta. The meditation on bodhicitta in just one session will be more effective at removing our delusions and negativities than practicing purification for 100 years without bodhicitta. So the four opponent powers, purifying any negativity that we may have created in the past, present, or possibly in the future, are explained as, so the power of the object, if we've created any negative karma against Buddhas or Bodhisattvas, then we take refuge. But any negative karma we've created with any sentient being in any life can be purified through bodhicitta, because we are thinking of the welfare of all sentient beings, so all those who we may have harmed in the past, in the present, or in the future. And the second of these opponent powers is regret having done it, won't do that again. And then the power of the opponent, so generating bodhicitta. The mind of bodhicitta is a wonderful opponent. And then the power of commitment, of course, to make the commitment not to do any negative action of body, speech or mind in future. So we can purify everything. Depends on mind. The seventh of the 10 benefits is that all your wishes are fulfilled. Very nice. So meditate now, just thinking about pure, selfless concern only for others. Make this your main wish. Wishing only for the happiness of all sentient beings. You may contemplate the four immeasurables, the wish. May all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness which is without suffering, which is enlightenment. And may they abide in equanimity, free of attachment and aversion. So if we, along with all sentient beings, generated the mind of bodhicitta, we would all abide in equanimity. Imagine that. And this mind of bodhicitta brings success quickly and effortlessly. Now the eighth benefit, you are immune from the harm of hindrances. So the protectors of the Dharma are delighted when someone develops bodhicitta and remain nearby protecting the bodhisattva continuously, whether requested or not. The Dharma protectors do not harm beings. They protect those who are practicing pure Dharma. And they're delighted when someone develops bodhicitta. As Geshe explains here on page 506, of all the practices for averting hindrances, bodhicitta is the most powerful. And that if you're trying to remove others' problems and hindrances, you'll be most effective if you have strong bodhicitta. And healing and blessing will have great power if you concentrate on bodhicitta. So we can meditate on the support we receive from Dharma protectors, not harming sentient beings, just protecting pure Dharma. With the supreme protection of a mind filled with bodhicitta, we cannot be harmed by black magic, spirits, demons, evil people. We just require pure, clean, clear mind of bodhicitta. And the ninth benefit is that you will quickly accomplish all the grounds and paths. So on the path to enlightenment, there are 5 paths of the Mahayana. Accumulation, path of preparation, path of insight, path of meditation, and the path of no more learning. And there are 10 bodhisattva grounds. So once we become bodhisattvas, there are 10 stages that we traverse. And as Geshe explains here, you can accomplish this and attain enlightenment during this very life by practicing Vajrayana with bodhicitta. So meditate on the wish to quickly attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. Because our intention is to quickly attain enlightenment in order to be able to benefit all sentient beings sooner rather than later. So our intention, our motivation should be to quickly attain this wonderful conventional mind of enlightenment. And the 10th benefit here is that you'll become a source of peace and happiness for all living beings. So whatever happiness we experience ourselves or are able to generate in another comes from a virtuous mind. And this knowledge, this virtue, and how to cultivate it comes directly or indirectly from the teachings of Buddhas. And the attainment of Buddhahood is the result of practicing the path of the Bodhisattva. And that the Bodhisattva path depends on the generation of bodhicitta. So in this way, we can say that the source of all goodness, happiness, and peace for all living beings is bodhicitta. So we can meditate here on Chandrakirti's words, the great peerless master, great scholar and bodhisattva, Chandrakirti, in his engaging in the middle way, where he says, hearers and solitary realizers are born from Buddhas. So they attain their realizations from the teachings of the Buddhas. Buddhas are born from bodhisattvas. So the Buddhas themselves have attained Buddhahood by having travelled the path of the bodhisattva. And the compassionate mind, non-dual understanding, and bodhicitta are the causes of bodhisattvas. So developing, which we will do in a couple of weeks, I think, on meditation, through the 7-point thought transformation, but with the mind of great love and great compassion, we step by step develop the mind of bodhicitta. And bodhicitta is what makes us bodhisattvas. So just reflect for a few moments on the 10 benefits. And rejoice that we have this precious human rebirth that we can utilize for the benefit of all sentient beings. We have the mind that can generate this wish, the mind that through constant listening, thinking, meditating, we can think for the sake of others, wishing, I wish to attain complete, perfect enlightenment. And now we can just have a quick look at the 2 types of bodhicitta. So there's wishing bodhicitta. So thinking male sentient beings have all the happiness and be free from suffering and all these things, may they? And then there's venturing bodhicitta, where we engage in the practices. And generally the 6 perfections of the bodhisattvas. So generosity, ethics, patience, joyous effort, meditative stabilization or concentration, and wisdom, so the insight into the true nature of reality. They are the practices of the bodhisattvas, and that's what we're aspiring to be, to generate the mind of bodhicitta and be a bodhisattva to benefit all sentient beings. And as Shantideva once again, in his engaging in the bodhisattva deed, said, the bodhicitta, in brief, should be understood to be of 2 types, the mind that wishes for enlightenment and the mind that ventures to attain it, as is understood by the distinction between wishing to go and actually going. So the wise understand in turn the distinction between these 2. And there are 3 minds for generating bodhicitta. The shepherd-like, where you push the flock of sentient beings to enlightenment. The pilot-like, where you take all sentient beings with you to enlightenment, like a airline pilot or a ship's captain. And the king-like or queen-like bodhicitta, where you attain enlightenment and then by having attained this you can look after all sentient beings. So basically the wish, the merit from the first 2 is greater than the king-like, but the king-like is the only one that we can do, because through the wish to push everybody first to enlightenment, fortunately or unfortunately, we attain enlightenment quicker. So next week we'll look at the 4 levels of bodhicitta. So that will do us on the teachings for today. And so does anybody have any questions? Yes, Nikki, question. Oh, where are we when we're wishing for all sentient beings to... Yeah. Yeah, so you're included because you're one of all sentient beings. And so when you get up in the morning, you think, I have this opportunity to benefit all sentient beings. So through today, through this motivation to benefit all sentient beings, may I and all those sentient beings quickly attain enlightenment. And thinking, through my eating this breakfast, this wonderful, delicious breakfast, may all sentient beings have a delicious breakfast and be free from hunger and starvation and all terrible conditions. And may they have all good conditions and quickly attain enlightenment to benefit all sentient beings. And if you have a wonderful car or a wonderful house that you live in, rejoice in the fact you have that and think how wonderful it would be if all sentient beings could live in a house. And completely, may all sentient beings be free from homelessness and the causes of homelessness and all of these things. And so if you have a car or you have a house or you have anything, then rejoice in the good fortune of having them and wish that everybody else had the opportunity, so that everybody, any good conditions that you have, You're not in the mind of renunciation. You're not renouncing your conditions apart from your suffering. You enjoy and utilize whatever good conditions you have in this life through work, through friends, through everything, and wish any time that mind thinks how wonderful it would be if everybody had a wonderful job and could benefit all sentient beings. If there were no unemployed people, if people had jobs they liked and had good income, and may all sentient beings have this, so that you're expanding on what you've already got without giving up anything. So you're just thinking of every limitless sentient being anywhere in time and space, past, present or future, and wishing them all to be free of, like, to have happiness, to be free of suffering, to be never separated from the happiness which is without suffering. So that's like liberation or enlightenment. And then to abide in equanimity. So if we were all bodhisattvas, we would be abiding in equanimity.
What if you just thought inwardly with yourself and meditated on yourself? Would that be create bad karma?
No. So the path of the question. Yeah. So if you're just meditating on having a good meditation for oneself, you mean? Is that good karma?
Oh, one of these people, I know no one in here would think outside of themselves, but I know, I can't remember the word, but they wish that, like just say to my son, you wish for this, you kept on wishing, and then got it.
Yeah. So
he's only thinking of himself. He create bad karma himself.
So meditating on the wish for
like computer games, wanted it, for months and months and months was on it, and then finally got it.
So it's sort of like the 4 examples given of the people in retreat. If a person is just wishing for good conditions in this life, then they're not practicing Dharma.
Yeah.
If they're wishing for good conditions in a future life, then they're just thinking about their next life. But samsara they still have samsaric mind, which is like no matter, until you have you break that samsaric mind, until you see emptiness and you have the realization of bodhicitta, which comes from realizing renunciation, that all these ordinary minds cause suffering. So ignorance, anger, attachment, pride, jealousy, doubt, all these wrong views. If you're in a retreat on your own thinking, this is wonderful, I'm having a really good meditation session here and I feel great, that's fantastic, because if your mind is really settled and thinks this is wonderful, and then all you have to do, it's not negative, but all you have to do is think, wouldn't it be wonderful if all sentient beings could enjoy a mind that is tranquil and calm and step by step attain bodhicitta and be thinking of the welfare of all sentient beings and then attain enlightenment. And so it takes just an ordinary what you're doing anyway, but it's just knowledge, so it's information. And the difficulty we have with many things is ignorance. Like, just ignorance is part of samsara, but we don't know everything. So we only know what we learn, and it depends what, sort of going off on a tangent here, but what karma you've got to learn things. So when you do have the merit or the karma to find something like the Holy Dharma, where you can actually renounce suffering, which means just, I don't want to be suffering anymore, and then develop bodhicitta and be thinking, oh, probably nobody else wants to be suffering anymore, and then realise that the only way to go beyond suffering for all sentient beings is to attain enlightenment. And So samsara is just the mind. It's not the place. So it's not the computer games or the planet or the something. It's just the mind of ignorance, anger, or attachment. Yeah. So you can still enjoy things, but you can also, if you're having a great time, you can rejoice in that and wish that all sentient beings could have a great time too, and create merit from that. And then, like in the dedications we do, where you dedicate the merit. So this thing of merit that's talked about in Dharma, where you whatever action you do positive creates good merit or good karma, and if you do any negative thing, creates negative karma. But a positive action, if you think of giving, like Geshe explains in the book, if you give one stick of incense or one grain of bird seed just to one sentient being, and thinking how wonderful it would be if all sentient beings had happiness and were free of suffering, then that's bodhicitta motivation. And then you dedicate that merit, and that merit is, you dedicate that merit to the attainment of enlightenment for all sentient beings. So that merit isn't used up until all sentient beings have attained enlightenment. So it's like this giant, beyond samsaric, but a giant merit super fund or something, that it's accruing merit forever and ever and ever until all sentient beings have attained complete perfect enlightenment. So dedication is really useful, because if you do something and it's good karma and you get the good karma back, then that's the merit finished. But if you do something good and with the motivation and the dedication of bodhicitta, that action is there as merit until all sentient beings attain enlightenment. So it's a wonderful sort of storehouse or super fund of merit to use in all future lives as a bodhisattva to benefit all sentient beings. Yeah. Yes, Nikki.
On that topic then, so, if we are angry, we destroy merit. So I'm imagining we destroy the merit we dedicate.
Yeah. Yes, when you're angry, you destroy merit that hasn't been dedicated, I understand. But, yeah. But then you do your four opponent powers and you generate the mind of bodhicitta, the object, and then regret being angry, and then the power of the opponent, which is bodhicitta and the dedication, and then the power of commitment, going, I will do my best not to commit this negativity again. Yeah. All right, so we'll, before we do the final prayer, so we'll do the final prayer of the graduated path, final Lamrim prayer, but just recollection that this wonderful light offering we have today, and by giving light, it's illuminating, so it's like enlightenment. So a light offering made by Nora to wish her father Benley a wonderful and excellent rebirth. So to traverse the bodhisattva path, so in requesting all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to assist in all future lives on the path to enlightenment. It's a wonderful thing. So we'll do the final prayer of the graduated path in English, and then we'll do the two general dedication prayers in English. And this final Lamrim prayer is basically like a meditation and a dedication in itself. So by the two collections vast as space, amassed with effort for a long time. May I become a chief of conquerors, a guide for all beings whose mind's eye is blinded by ignorance. Also, in all lives while not yet come to that, may Manjushri favour me with his compassion, finding the supreme path, complete with all stages of the teachings. May I please the conquerors by practicing well. By my precise understanding of the essential points of the path, with skillful means drawn long by strong compassion, and by dispelling the mental darkness of beings, may I uphold the conqueror's teaching for a long time. Where the supreme precious teaching is not spread, also where it has spread but become degenerate, with a mind deeply moved by great compassion, may I make clear this treasure of benefit and bliss. The stages of the path, excellently established by the marvellous deeds of the conquerors and their children, give glory to the minds of those aspiring for liberation. May the conquerors' deeds be long preserved. May all humans and non-humans who remove the obstructions and establish conditions favourable to cultivating the excellent path never be parted for all of their lifetimes from the purest of paths which the Buddhas have praised. When someone makes effort to practice properly the 10 points of conduct of the Supreme Vehicle, may they always be assisted by the mighty protectors, and may oceans of good fortune spread out, reaching all. And now on page 34, if you have the prayer book, the general dedication. And we can do these in Tibetan and English once each. Kewadi Kepokun Sonam Yeshe So Sojing Sonam Yeshe Le Jungwe Damba Kuni Tobajo. By this virtue may all beings complete the collections of wisdom and merit, and attain the two holy bodies arisen from wisdom and merit. Janjosen Jogrim Boche Magevanam Gyurji Gebanyamba Mebaye Kone Kondo Pelbasho. May the precious superior mind of enlightenment be generated in those who have not yet generated it, and not decrease in those who have developed it, but increase continuously. So thank you all very much for coming today. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you have all developed mind of bodhicitta. And if not, step by step, definitely possible, we can do it. We shall. And see you again next week. Thank you. Knees are stuck.